Good evening, City Council. The item before you tonight is the Teal Club Specific Plan. The Teal Club Specific Plan project includes several requests. It includes requests for a general plan amendment, annexation, pre-zoning, adoption of the Teal Club Specific Plan, a development agreement, and certification of an environmental impact report. These actions would allow for future development that would include up to 990 residential units, up to 55,000 square feet of commercial space, up to 132,000 square feet of business research office space, and up to 17.76 acres of park and open space. Note that no development is proposed at this time. The proposed specific plan would serve as a guide for that future development. The project site is located adjacent to Oxnard Airport. The site is north of the airport, west of Ventura Road, east of Patterson Road, and south of Doris Avenue. The top left image is a view of the project site from the intersection of Ventura Road and Teal Club Road. The bottom right image is a view of the project site from the intersection of Ventura Road and Doris Avenue. The top left image is a view of the project site from Teal Club Road. Note the project site is on both the north and south sides of the road. The bottom right image is a view of the project site from the intersection of Teal Club Road and Patterson Road. Note the project site is on both the north and south sides of the road. The project site is mostly farmland and is located within the county unincorporated area, and it is surrounded by the following land uses. To the south is Oxnard Airport. To the west is business research park uses and active agricultural uses. To the north is residential development, and to the east is residential development. Historically, the proposed specific plan site has been active farmland, and it has been developed with agricultural structures and single-family residences. Since 2005, several iterations of the project have been submitted and reviewed by the city. In 2015, the current project was submitted and was subsequently revised during the environmental review process into its current form. In November of 2024, the current project was reviewed by the Planning Commission. The project includes a general plan amendment to change the existing land use designations of the site to be consistent with the proposed specific plan. Note that the land use designations will stay the same, but will be in a different configuration on the general plan map. And the land use designation for the parcels south of Teal Club Road will not change. That designation will remain airport compatible. These maps show the existing configuration and also the proposed configuration. The configuration will change only within the proposed specific plan area. The project includes annexation into the city. Since the project site is mostly located within the county unincorporated area, it must be annexed into the city to allow for future development. The annexed area includes approximately 143 acres within the proposed specific plan area and 11 acres south of Teal Club Road. The entire project site will be annexed to city utilities, and that includes Callegas Municipal Water District. These maps show the existing city boundary and the proposed city boundary. The project parcels, both north and south of Teal Club Road, would be within the city boundaries. The project includes pre-zoning to specify development standards for future development. The specific plan area would be zoned specific plan, and would be subject to the provisions of the specific plan. The parcels south of Teal Club Road are outside of the specific plan and would be zoned light industrial. The existing residential uses may remain as existing non-conforming uses. Development of those parcels would result in approximately 347,000 square feet of light industrial uses. These maps show the existing zoning and the proposed zoning. Note that most of the project parcels do not have existing zoning designations because they are not currently located within the city. The project includes the adoption of the Teal Club specific plan to create a new community within a walkable setting. The design incorporates pedestrian routes and connection of residential neighborhoods, commercial uses, recreational opportunities, and public transportation access. The specific plan includes 14 planning areas for a mix of land uses on the approximately 150-acre specific plan area. The plan includes development standards so that each planning area is developed consistent with the zone classifications and within the density ranges of the plan. The proposed specific plan includes 2 phases. Phase 1 is approximately 92 acres of the total 150 acres and has 1 owner. Phase 2 is the remaining 58 acres and has 3 owners. The grading and improvements for Phase 1 could begin in 2026, and construction of homes could begin in the following year. The proposed project includes a development agreement between the applicant and the city to specify financial commitments to the city, fee modifications, affordable housing requirements, timing for improvements, and maintenance requirements. The proposed development agreement includes the following. The developer will construct the 6.5-acre park in Phase 1 and all infrastructure improvements. 15% of the residential units will be affordable to very low-income and low-income households. The developer will pay a fee to the city for affordable farm worker housing and a separate fee to offset proportional police and fire staffing costs, and agrees to local buyer and local hire preferences. Note that this development agreement only applies to Phase 1 of the Teal Club specific plan. In November of 2024, the project was considered by the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission recommended that City Council approve the project with the following 5 revisions. 1. Expanded bike lanes. 2. Allowance of water fountains. 3. Promotion of electric energy. 4. Increased affordable housing. And 5. Prevailing wage requirement for the entire project. Staff considers the expanded bike lanes, allowance of water fountains, and promotion of electric energy as improvements to the original project and recommends these revisions to the specific plan. The Planning Commission recommended that the future development include 20% affordable housing. Staff does not support this recommendation for the following reasons. Development in other areas of the city generally requires 10% of the units to be affordable. This site is designated as an urban village, which requires 15% affordable units, and the units include a deeper level of affordability. The units will be deed restricted for very low income and low income households. The project includes payment of a farmland mitigation fee to be used towards the construction of farm worker housing. The Planning Commission recommended a prevailing wage requirement for all future development within Phase 1. Staff does not support this recommendation for the following reasons. The development agreement required a prevailing wage per state law that is consistent with all other development in the city. Prevailing wage is not required for private development. and imposing such a requirement would increase the cost of development and may be detrimental to the project's feasibility. A prevailing wage requirement may impact the city's ability to be competitive in attracting development. To avoid any confusion, staff recommends removing the prevailing wage language from the development agreement. Thus, all prevailing wage requirements would default to state regulations. The proposed specific plan site has an existing general plan designation of urban village, which is characterized by a mix of land uses, transit accessibility, pedestrian orientation, and neighborhood identity. The parcels south of Teal Club Road have an existing general plan designation of airport compatible, which allows for uses that do not interfere with airport operations or subject large numbers of persons to aircraft hazards. The proposed project is consistent with the general plan as discussed in the staff report. The city prepared an environmental impact report to identify potential environmental impacts, mitigation measures, monitoring requirements, and residual impacts. The final EIR includes a mitigation monitoring and reporting program to detail the process to implement the mitigation measures. After implementation of the mitigation measures, all potentially significant impacts would be reduced to less than significant levels. The two impacts that cannot be mitigated to a less than significant level are related to agricultural resources and air quality. The project would result in the conversion of approximately 150 acres of farmland to non-agricultural use, which is a permanent loss of agricultural lands. This loss is evaluated in the general plan EIR. To offset the regional impact, a mitigation measure requires the payment of an agricultural conservation in lieu fee. The project would result in air quality impacts related to daily emissions, mostly from project-related traffic. Mitigation measures include payment of a transportation demand management fund fee and energy-saving construction measures and design. Since these impacts cannot be mitigated to a less than significant level, findings and a statement of overriding considerations were prepared. The statement of overriding considerations details why the benefits of the project outweigh its unavoidable environmental risks. The project benefits include the following. It fulfills the vision in the general plan for an urban village. It will result in a variety of residential products and unit types. The development is centered around a plaza within walking distance to public transit and residential units. It complies with the general plan housing element affordability requirement. It creates buffers between residential development and airport and agricultural land. And the neighborhood design is similar to the historic district and promotes walking. Thus, staff recommends certification of the EIR. The project would result in the conversion of farmland to non-agricultural use, which is a permanent loss of agricultural lands. Since there are no agricultural easements within Ventura County, City Council authorized the development agreement to include the terms of the agricultural conservation in lieu fee. Specifically, the fee will be used for farm worker housing, which will benefit displaced farm workers. The project would have a significant impact to regional air quality. The daily operational emissions of ROx and NOx would exceed the Air Pollution Control District's thresholds. While vehicle emissions are mitigable with payment of fees, not all operational emissions are mitigable. The EIR evaluates the project's impacts on the environment, not the environment's impact on the project. Development near the airport's sphere of influence is conditioned to require notice to all property owners that inhabitants may be affected by the airport and aircraft operations. Prior to the Planning Commission hearing in November of 2024, this project was presented during a Cabrillo neighborhood meeting in March of 2022, and then a community workshop in April of 2022. The project was then presented to the Planning Commission in November of 2024. Since the Planning Commission hearing, the city hosted a virtual town hall meeting in March of 2025. The comments and questions received during that town hall meeting are attached to the staff report, and that information does not change staff's recommendations. Notice of the City Council hearing was provided in a newspaper, posted on the site in 3 locations, and mailed to surrounding property owners. Since the Planning Commission hearing in November, staff has received 15 comment letters regarding the project. Those letters are attached to the staff report, and the information in those letters does not change staff's recommendations. Therefore, staff recommends that the City Council approve the recommended actions listed in the staff report, subject to certain findings. That concludes staff's presentation. Both the applicant team and city staff will be available for questions during the hearing.